It looks like it was a parents' weekend here. Thank you so much for a wonderful interview, as always, and welcome to the LEC post-game lobby where I'm joined by Romain and Isma. How are you guys doing after this game? You showed up, Romain, being like, okay, we got this one. How much were you guys sweating backstage during the second game?
A lot, especially second game. I mean, we've seen this comp being active a lot in Scrim, and we kind of knew we were going to end up with a win. But a lot of stuff happened, and they played really well. It was a banger, as the boys would say.
It is always difficult to know what's going to happen, and you have to be prepared for whatever the opponents are going to come with. And today was the case. I think it was a challenge at different points.
See, you say this, and this is what most of team and us as well actually think whenever G2 is about to play. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what you guys are going to come up with. And I would like you guys to tell me a bit about the preparation coming in today. You were playing yesterday, having a rough idea of who you were going to be playing against maybe, but how do you prep from one day to the other on a coaching staff perspective?
It's the same patch, so it's kind of easy because we've been rehearsing the draft a lot, and we've managed to create a really advanced system in a way where we spend a lot of time talking about the game. And I think, I believe we have a really, really strong team. We have 5 incredible players, and also everyone is bought into being extremely try-hard and dedicating everything to theory crafting around the game. Good job to Rodrigo and Dylan to have always the best ideas, and we're really data-driven. So we kind of knew what we were going to play, but then it comes down to execution, right? And it could be tricky.
You never know. You never know what side of the coin you're going to have with G2 in that sense. But Isma, what is your role actually when it comes to these best of threes? Because of course they need to resent mentally. I remember that when you were with Rogue, working with Hans, he would take a walk around the studio, a run actually around the studio. And what are the players doing? Well, how are you helping them reset between games usually?
I think, to be honest, my main job is not necessarily for the best of threes, like the sets themselves, but it's most like preparing them throughout the weeks, how to be adaptable to what's going to happen and what I mentioned before. And I think, like you're saying, the mental part is very important, but as well like the physical part and like what they are eating. So obviously we have a plan already that we've been adapting and improving since the beginning of the year. And I think it is always a constant reminder and reinforcing them in terms of where the focus should be. So it is like between the games, this is basically what is my role in a sense. So help them to refocus or help them to to put their attention in the right place, or even sometimes drink some water, get some snacks. So that's part of my job, to be honest.
Cut on the Red Bull, maybe drink a bit more water. We were just seeing Caps here, and I remember last time we had an interview together, or was it PGL maybe? We were mentioning that you helped Caps a lot actually, because as a player who's been playing for a long time, it's really hard sometimes to break the habits and let's say teach him a routine. What do you think of this improved version of Caps with the new routine and maybe the doors that you've been opening for him?
I think we love it. I think to me right now, I could see the difference between Caps from January and the Caps from right now. Like we can see the improvement, and I think this is what makes me proud, to be honest, because he bought into it. Like he's very, very competitive, so I have to adapt a few of the strategies that we do with him. So he goes to exercise as well, like on his own sometimes, and I think this is the opportunity for him to develop. He saw it. And I think he's now asking for more and more support, and this is actually what we do, and especially my role or Romain's role. Like we are there to support them, to facilitate the day-to-day, and I think he's all in because he knows that he saw some results already.
Romain, anything you want to add on to this and working with Caps and his evolution?
The addition of Isma in 2023 has been incredible for the success of the team because he's bringing a lot of tools, a lot of really good ideas, and it's a system where everyone is buying in. Like we're not forcing anything on the players. Like they agree, they pick the tools, they want to push further, and it's just been really, really good. We're trying to work harder because we're winning right now, so it makes saying the hard stuff easier in a way. And I think the key factor of our success is we just talk. We talk together a lot. Everyone, players with players, players with staff, staff with staff. I think I did the math this morning. We did more than 430 101 since the beginning of the
Wow.
year. So we talk together a lot, and it allows you to flag the tiny problems really early and then to instantly address them. And sometimes you have to say the hard word when the problem are still baby problems. And that's the setup. That's a safe space we're trying to create so everyone can learn and feedback one another constantly. And we have to be harder on ourselves right now because we're winning. And we need to be disciplined. And I wasn't sure after spring, right? Like we win winter, we start spring, everyone is telling us, you guys are gonna win, it's gonna be great. We lose, we're a bit
Stay humble,
PTSD.
yeah.
So summer is really, because at the end of the day, we don't need the points. We're already qualified for the next step. So this split is extremely important for us to prove to ourselves that we can be disciplined, because that's not Europe we're interested in. We want to win worlds. We want to beat the Asian teams. And we have to train as good as possible here. So the moment we step on the international stage, we can show up.
Something I want to follow up on later, how to be the international teams, because that's, of course, what we want to look at on the European perspective. But we always talk about how the staff acts and works with the players. But Isma, I'm interested in knowing how you guys work together, because, I mean, G2 Army is actually an army when you think about the staff around the team. How do you guys interact with each other in this trusting environment that Romain was describing just now?
I think an important aspect is that everyone knows their role.
Yeah.
So Dylan knows his role, Rodrigo, Romain, myself. So we know each other's roles. And I think like we don't try to step on each other's toes. And this is something that happens a lot in other industries or in other teams, organizations. And I think the important that, and I feel like I thank Romain on this because he is, let's say, the one leading a lot of these areas. And I think like it is important to facilitate and enable each other's strengths. And this is the first step. You cannot have that. You cannot interact with the players if in the coaching staff this is not clear. And then we go into the players, and then we have foundations in terms of team environment, foundations into how the attitude is expected from the players, but then as well from us as staff.
Yeah.
We are role models for them. So I think this is a very strong aspect on this team. So we expect the players to be reflective, to buy into the one-on-ones. So we have to engage in these things. So our work, or my work at this point, is a lot of try to direct the psychological aspect, but as well the human aspect. And that's why we have established a very action-based sort of approach where we reflect on our values that we established already at the beginning of the year, and we reinforce them or we adapt them for after MSI. And we reflect every day. And this is not an easy it's not an easy strategy or not an easy skill to have. And I'm so proud of them because they know they have to reflect. They know they have to be aware of their values and their actions. And now they are like, okay, I know this is coming. So were you brave today? Were you disciplined today? And I think like that's part of helping them to reflect, be aware. And one important thing is to help them to be consistent when things are going well or when things are going not that well, because usually you tend to go sideways. And this is sort of my role, to always keep them on the same path or on the path that we established already.
I think it's really interesting because you know exactly where you want to take the players, you know exactly who's supposed to do what in the coaching staff, but you're still refining your approach constantly and like second guessing yourself. I don't think it's something we often see with teams.
Yeah, and the 4 coaching staff love their job and just want to do their job. I'm the GM. I don't want to be anything else. Don't want to be head of something. I just want to be GM. Our head analyst loves to be analyst, and Dylan loves to be a coach. He doesn't want to become a player or something. And Isma is an incredible performance coach. So everyone is constantly challenged to dive deeper into their own job and making sure that everyone is involved. So every time, rather than every time we see a mistake, we dive on it. Oh, you're really bad at this. You should never do that again. It's more, every time we do something good, we push it. That was incredible. Why? How? How can we recreate it? And everyone has to positively reinforce it. So we turn it into a new tool, and then we can dive deeper. Like, everyone wants to win, but it doesn't mean anything. How do you win? Like, why are you going to win? What are your goals? And the stuff Isma was saying about values is so critical, because usually it makes sense to discuss those things at the beginning of the year, but then you never discuss them again. So the fact that every day we challenge ourselves on our basis helps us a lot, that's for sure. Any
quick words that you can tell me on coming back from MSI? as a European fan and interviewer, I was actually sad that the run ended early, but Worlds is coming, and of course there's some learnings to take from this. So how did you guys come back together? Because it feels like we often talk about the MSI hangover or like coming back from international events being a bit traumatized. It doesn't feel like it was the case for G2. How do we make sure that we don't get stomped at Worlds, Romain?
By playing the game. It sounds easy, right?
Yeah.
But playing the game more. Like, for example, we're lucky to have 5 incredible players who play the game, talk about the game. They are all challengers in solo queue, 1 KLP. We scream a lot and we take scream extremely seriously. We pay attention, thanks to Isma, to all the facets around living, like, from sleeping to eating to everything. And I believe we're going to beat them by playing the game better. But that means you have to become higher masteries and creativity, as Dylan would say always. And that means spamming the champions a lot and talking, a lot of talking to one another.
I think it's a lot about playing hard, playing more, but as well more efficiently. And I think we have this culture of grinding, but sometimes we don't care. Most of the time in esports, we don't care about. If you want to grind, you as well need to have the right energy, the right amount of effort to actually be able to grind more. In high performance, in sports, in the elite sports, is the same. So we are giving them, facilitating them, enable them already the talent that they have, so they can play more. But then at the same time, we try to find some balance for them to not fall into burnout or don't fall into the negative stress, because as well people would think, okay, stress is bad, but no, we challenge them for them to get used to it, but then as well we pull them back. So it is a conscious effort for them to be used to it, but then as well regenerate energy, have strategies when they are on their own, for them to be able to play more efficiently.
I think it's such an important topic, and we see it more and more mentioned in esports lately. There's something I want to mention, though, on a more lighter topic. You can see the tweet just now. Romain, we're going to put it full screen for you guys to see, because there's words in the street that G2 usually go to the bathroom as a team, as a unit. And it scares other teams, and I feel like it's the point of all this. Can you talk me through what you guys are doing backstage, and what is this dark magic that G2 is putting here?
It's a simple fact. We're talking about it right now. Proves us it's a win. Like, the goal is the moment we step in the studio, we become a unit, and this unit has to step on stage and they have to fight, and the moment the game starts, it's only 5 players. Let's do everything together, and that means going to the toilet together. And as a matter of fact, in the LEC, the toilets is right in the middle of the pathway between the rest of the LEC and the backstage. So you're going to see everyone. You're going to see other players leaving the toilets, and they're alone. It's easy to gang them in real life.
Oh my
we're
God.
just chilling, we're just chilling, we're talking there, and we're actually nice. We're a team of nice people. We just say hi. We know half of the people here, so we're not really scary. We just...
Unless we turn off the lights.
Yeah, right.
You guys do this?
Caps has an incredible poker face, and yeah, whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the simple fact, we're talking about it, other teams were talking about it, it's working, it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Makes us laugh, and the other teams are probably saying, oh my God, they're really stupid. Yeah, but we're having fun. So
We just look after the details. I think the details make a huge difference in the end. So
I love this approach. I know some players are really scared of this, actually, and it is working. In fact, let's focus on the rest of the playoffs and the group stage we have, and take a look at the bracket, shall we, to see the opposition that G2 is going to have next Monday, facing off against Excel. On paper, you guys are supposed to win this one. How will you manage players' expectations so that they don't do a G2, let's say. They don't get too hasty.
Winning.
Don't think about winning.
Don't think about winning. You don't think about losing. You think on the plan. You focus on the patch. You push the patch deeper. You push your champion pool. You push the mastery and the different champions you have. And you need to think, because all the teams in front of us right now are just starving. Like, it's a do or die battle happening right now. We already qualified, so we're chilling. Same for Mad. The rest needs absolutely to win those games. If not, they're on holidays. And it's horrible to be on holidays in League of Legends esports, because that means you're chilling at home. So everyone is going to come for us. So we have to be ready. And it's the moment you focus on winning, things becomes a bit complicated. Just focus on executing the best plan possible. So in the middle of the battle, you just think about the plan. And that's what we're going to work on. Looking forward for all those people.
I think we just challenge them every day for the scrims, for practice. I think we have a very good scrim practice culture, scrim culture. sometimes it's hard to follow, but I think like we make sure that we efficiently practice, we efficiently improve, and make sure that we understand what we're doing. So we say we don't want to lose to win, because that has happened many times. We lose a best of, like for example, last split, or even in the first split in winter split, and then like, okay, this create an anger and this create a focus. And we have learned from these things. And I think like from MSI as well, we learned these things, that we don't want to lose to win. We want to make sure that we are prepared for every game. Obviously, sometimes you will get a little bit cocky or a little bit like overconfident, but we have addressed these things, and they get to say what they actually think about, and they get to understand, okay, yeah, probably I shouldn't be thinking this way or saying these things, or maybe we can joke about it and have fun, but when the attitude comes into place, it should be switched, it should be different.
It's always valuable to have some insights when it comes to preparation. And on that side, some teams are facing elimination next week. If Fnatic or Team Heretics lose, they will not be able to qualify for the season playoffs. And here, guys, I want to remind you of what's at stake here, because 3 teams are in for now. 3 spots are up for grabs. With Excel locking playoffs, actually, Vitality's chances dropped a lot to 24% of the remaining scenarios. And yeah, as I said, Team Heretics and Fnatic must win next week to have a shot at season finals. If they don't, then it's going to be 7 teams racing for 6 spots. Romain, how do you see things going in that area?
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I don't care too much who's going to win at the end of the day, because I believe every team can be scary. This one is a whole big training for us, because we need to be ready for this incredible best of 5 happening in the middle of August, because this one, if you win, you qualify to both Montpellier and Korea at the same time. And if you lose, and you lose right after, you go home. So it doesn't matter if you had a great year or a bad year. One win pushes you to Montpellier in Korea, but if you lose, it's scary. For what's going to happen right now, it's crazy, right? Like a lot of people can make it, and I believe everyone is really strong right now. I was expecting Fnatic to be a bit stronger, but based on Scream, they looked a bit lost in the sauce, I would say. I'm really happy to see Excel performing. I'm a huge Odo fan, so makes sense. SK, Koi, like, it's cool, it's cool. Must feel really bad for Vitality to be chilling at home and waiting for their tickets, but they have great players, so I think it's like a second chance in a video game, right? If they get it, they're probably going to go really hard on everyone. Looking forward.
It's a tricky format to work around, honestly, but we had some surprises so far in summer. And again, you guys facing off against Excel next week. They want to have the miracle run, so that there's amazing storylines. Honestly, you guys don't want to miss out on the LEC next week. I think that's all for us here. Now we had an action-packed weekend of League of Legends and early week, actually. Guys, thank you so much, Isma and Romain. It's been a pleasure having you here. We're going to take the PGL selfie, actually. For once, I don't have players. That's new. And guys, thank you so much for following the LEC this weekend. We'll be back next week for more best of 3s and the beginning of playoffs on Monday. You had the smile like at school, like just ready for the picture. We'll just take it like this. Thank you guys again. It's been a pleasure having you and having more insights on preparation. And thank you all again for following at home. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye then.
The Hunter's got 2 under his belt, and with blue and red buff on his champion, that will be an easy one to secure. 3-0 for the top lane. Marcoon survives. Irrelevant's TP in once again behind the teams. Mega Inferno Bomb tagging up Peach. Now it's Irrelevant fighting 2 as Peach is taken down by Surges. Irrelevant, I don't think he knows there's so many members around. Gets caught with the dredge line. He's already sliced. He's looking for the dice, and he's taken out.
Looks a little bit hard. Oh, no, we win.
But it is at the cost of Exekick's life. Now Surge looking for another one to Patrick. Dashes forward. Perfect execution is unavailable. Goes golden. He gets the double.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Best of 1, guys. Let's go. Stay focused, guys.
Finding Marcoon is going to take the majority of the wave mid, so that's still fine. Sergis might catch him as well, actually.
Zarki's got that flash, got that distortion, is stunned up, is scattered, is taken down.
I'm stunned. I don't know.
I need help.
Stage 5, finish. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Help Abe.
I'm coming now.
Look at Jack
my flash.
Stun, trying to force out the ult earlier. Meanwhile, with anti-caps. Oh, he's not respecting the Garen. Makes a lot of sense to see what they can get done here. Root's going to connect, and that's surely got to be an easy kill. Nuke getting cut down by Airy, just flying through the air. Backside as well. BDS have horribly miscalculated on the bottom side. 2 easy kills. kills picked up for G2.
I make look at this guy. I see you.
Hey, looks good. Looks nice, yeah. Fire for flash.
It's a Jax clutch.
Can you end mid?
Got him.
Can you end mid, actually?
Nice!
Okay, Ignite now taking pull back. One shot, but Adam says, I'm going to make it a 1-for-1. Bloodbath under the tower, but Adam has no TP.
I will end no matter what, okay?
Go.
You just suicide. I will end no matter what.
Let's go.
Nice.
We got it.
Away.
Nice! That's a good way to win.